Thanks for joining us for another Kickstarter conniption. Today we're talking about the Adventures in Alchemy expansion for Adventure Tactics.
As always, we'd like to make you aware that our crowdfunding overview videos are sponsored in part by our Kickstarter backers and the creators of this game.
Hello and welcome to Tantrum House Studio Awesome. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Katie, and today we are going to be doing an overview of Adventure Tactics, the Adventures in Alchemy by the Letiman games. It is an expansion that does require the original Adventure Tactics Domianne's Tower in order to play. We do have a preview video for the base game on our channel, so definitely check that out for more information.
This expansion includes a number of alternate options that you can play with the base game, including story elements, classes, and rules. We have a prototype copy, so some aspects are subject to change, but let's go ahead and take a look. This expansion introduces a new character and basic class, Lane the Alchemist. The Alchemist is a new starting class which is initially created the same way as the other basic classes when you start a campaign.
However, it does have a few unique aspects. The Alchemist uses a special elixir action cards which are removed from play after they're used.
Also, the Alchemist counts as either a cleric or a wizard when qualifying for an elite class, except it's one level lower, so they may need to wait a little bit before they go up and start multiclassing.
Along with the Alchemist, this expansion introduces a few new elite classes. The Oracle is an elite class that only the Alchemist can take. Its Philosopher's Stone, Divination, and Cursed Foresight abilities focus on deck manipulation. Its Petrify action can stun opponents, and Celestial Fury and Heavenly Barrier can take damage to deal or reduce damage.
The Druid Elite class has actions that focus on letting the player create their own obstacles, called briars. The rest of the Druid's abilities tend to improve these briars by making them more beneficial to allies and more detrimental to enemies.
The Mimic Elite class has actions that give self-healing or can move enemy units, and its other abilities help it to copy other units' base actions.
When playing the campaign, the new character Lane can be used as is in the base game's original Act 1, or players can play the new Act 1 from the expansion, which will lead players through several of the first levels before joining back up with Act 2.
Some of the new encounters will make use of events. Whenever an event token comes up in the initiative order, the encounter will dictate that something happens.
For example, some encounters make use of allies with the new ally decks. These allies will activate during the event's initiative.
Along with events, there are two additional rules that affect initiative. There are fate encounters that can be spent to swap the order of two initiative tokens, and then there is a static variant rule for making the boss's initiative a little more predictable.
Those fate counters and the new static initiative rule, I think those are meant to address some of the difficulty players were facing with the original game, because when we played the original game, we found that through several playthroughs, it was actually quite difficult.
Very difficult.
So being able to manipulate the initiative order should help new players as they play the base game, or even with this expansion, to have a little bit of a leg up, or at least I think that's what they're going for. If this looks interesting to you, be sure to check out Adventure Tactics, Adventures in Alchemy on Kickstarter.
And as always, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Tantrum House for more content like this.